Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed about the circulatory system of human being. Now we will discuss about the cells, types of cells present in blood. Blood has RBCs, WBCs, and the blood platelets. RBCs are generally red in color because of the presence of hemoglobin. They carry hemoglobin. Because of that, they look red in color. They help in the transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide. They take oxygen from the lungs and they take carbon dioxide from the different body parts towards the lungs so that they can carry oxygen. WBCs are the white blood cells. They don't have hemoglobin content and they help in providing protection against the germs. They engulf these germs. Similarly, as the amoeba captures its food, in the same way they engulf their germs and produces antibodies. Blood platelets, they help in the blood clotting. Next important thing is the plasma. Plasma is actually the liquid component of the blood, which is yellow in color. It contains 90% water and 10% organic substances. So these are the cells which are present in the blood. Next important term is the lymph. Lymph is the yellowish fluid. Sometimes from the blood capillaries, the blood filtered out. The filtered out and escaped from the blood capillaries. This is called the lymph. And it gets collected in the intercellular spaces. If these are the two blood capillaries, so it gets collected in between the space. That is called intercellular space. It contains less protein than the blood. Obviously, because it is the filtered blood. It flows from the tissue to the heart, which help in the transportation and destroying germs. So it also protects us from different antigens. It carries digested and absorbed fat from intestine and drain the excess fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. So this is also a very important function of the lymph. Now we will see the difference between arteries and veins. As we know, artery carry oxygenated blood from heart to the different body parts except the pulmonary artery. This is important exception, pulmonary artery. But veins carry deoxygenated blood from body parts towards the heart except pulmonary vein. This is the exception. Arteries, because they distribute the blood, so called distributing vessels, and veins collect all the blood, deoxygenated blood, so called collecting vessels. Arteries are thick and elastic so that they can bear the higher pressure of the blood. But veins are thin and less elastic. Arteries are deep-seated. We cannot see these arteries from the outer surface. But we can observe the veins superficially because they are near to the skin as compared to the arteries. Now we will see the transport in plants. We know transport in plants occur by the xylem and phloem. Xylem help in transportation of water. It takes the water from the roots and provide to the different parts of plant. But phloem help in transportation of food materials. So water and minerals are transported by xylem and food material which is synthesized during the process of photosynthesis is transported by the help of phloem. We have already observed the structure of stomata. Through these opening, the excess water evaporates. This process is termed as transpiration. So through this transpiration, excess water evaporates by the help of these opening of stomata. means it also help in the transportation of water from roots towards the leaf. So the transpiration is the process of loss of water as vapor from aerial parts of the plant. Function: it absorption and upward movement of water and mineral by creating a transpirational pull. This pull which is exerted by this stomata and evaporation is termed as the transpirational pull. It helps in temperature regulation of the plant. So now we will see the components of this complex tissue. The vascular bundles, these are two types, xylem and phloem. Xylem help in transportation of water from roots and minerals, and phloem help in transportation of food materials, which is synthesized during the process of photosynthesis on the surface of leaves. Xylem has following components: tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, xylem parenchyma. Phloem has sieve elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, phloem fibers. So these are the components of xylem, and these are the components of phloem: sieve elements, companion cells, fibers, and the parenchyma. Xylem take the water from here through roots towards the surface of leaf. This is the structure of xylem. Transport water and minerals from root to the leaves. Contain two types of conducting cells: tracheids, vessels, and the parenchyma. Parenchyma structure we all know. These are the vessels. They have holes. Their walls are pitted walls. These long tube-like structures, these are the tracheids. They also have the pitted walls. These vessels, tracheids, and the parenchyma, they arrange themselves to form the xylem. Sometimes these xylem and phloems can appear like this. This is the TS of plant, dicot stem. In this TS, we can see on the outer surface, these are the phloems. These are the phloem, and this is the xylem. And these are all the ground tissues: parenchyma, sclerenchyma, all these type of cells. These xylem and phloem together are termed as vascular bundles. This is the another diagram we can easily see. These are the phloems, and these pink are xylem. And the connection between these two is termed as interfascicular cambium, and the connection between one xylem and phloem, this one is termed as the fascicular cambium. These together, interfascicular cambium and fascicular cambium, these together are termed as the vascular cambium. Here also we can see the diagram of xylem components, tracheids and the vessels, and the parenchyma fibers. Now we will see the components of phloem: sieve elements, companion cells, fibers, and the fiber parenchyma. This is the phloem. These tubes are the companion cells. These sieve tubes, parenchyma cells. These are the perforations present on these tubes so that the movement can take place. And this companion cell attached with this sieve tube. This companion cell have nucleus. The sieve tube does not have any nucleus. All these join together to form the phloem. These are the sieve plate, sieve tube, companion cells which have nucleus, and the phloem parenchyma. All these join together to form the phloem component. See all these components in another diagram. Xylem help in unidirectional flow. Means flow of water take place from roots towards the leaf in upward direction. But phloem help in transportation of not in unidirectional, it is multidirectional. The transport of food can take place in upward direction as well as in the downward direction. Here no end walls between the cells, but here cells have end walls with perforations. So this is two-way transport, this is one-way transport. Now we will see the difference between the xylem and the phloems. First, their components. Main difference is the components are different in xylem and phloem. And the tracheates vessels, xylem fibers are dead, but phloem fibers, in case of phloem, the phloem fibers are dead tissue. Xylem give mechanical strength support, but phloem does not provide any mechanical strength. It helps in the conduction of water and minerals from root towards the apical part. It helps in the transportation of the food materials. It is unidirectional, it is bidirectional. Xylem, in case of xylem, it is unidirectional. In case of phloem, it is bidirectional. Xylem sometimes appear the star-shaped structure, but phloem is not in star-shaped. Xylem occupies in the center of the vascular bundle and phloem occurs on the outer side of the vascular bundle. We have already seen this in this diagram. These are the phloems on the outer side and these are the xylem on the inner side. Xylem is a tubular structure with hard wall cells and they have the soft walls. So these are the difference between the xylem and phloem, and this is how the transportation occur in case of plants with the help of xylem and with the help of phloem. And how they transport, we have already discussed about the transpirational pull, the structure of stomata and the components of xylem and phloem. In the next class, we will discuss about the excretory system. Thank you.